With the recent arrival of Pride Month, I've been seeing an increasing amount of transphobia and homophobia recently. This is not new, but I kind of want to talk about it because I just can't understand why people think of trans people the way they do. What did we do other than maybe make you a little bit uncomfortable that's worthy of all the oppression that you force us into on a daily basis, treating us like less than human just because we don't match your idea of what a man or woman should be? Hi, I'm Ember. Welcome to the second channel. As you all know, this is the channel where I talk about whatever's been on my mind this week, and while I haven't posted in a couple weeks due to mental health problems, I probably will start posting more again soon. I've been struggling to come up with ideas for what to do on this channel, and also just been streaming a lot to compensate for my lack of YouTube content. Because I don't know what to do on the main channel, and I don't know what to write on the second channel, and I've been bed rotting every day. So yeah, hopefully things get fixed soon, but until then, I hope you guys enjoy the second channel videos that I'm going to be posting. I am depressed, I have a lot on my mind, but I'm still going to try to push myself to post more and write more scripts, make better thumbnails, edit more, everything you can think of. Alright everyone, enjoy the video. I've been experiencing an incredible amount of transphobia recently that was completely unexpected due to specifically my dad. And it's only getting worse now that Pride Month is around. People are starting to remember that trans people exist if they didn't know about it before, or if they were purposely forgetting because of the drama that surrounds us. And by far, I would say trans people experience the most of the bigotry that we get during Pride Month. Not to say that gay people don't experience bigotry or don't experience a lot of it, just that in recent years it's been mostly focused onto trans people who, just like gay people and lesbians and bisexual people, have literally done nothing wrong other than maybe make someone a little bit uncomfortable. Especially trans women, who unfortunately struggle the most out of the trans demographic due to creeps and perverts, as well as the fact that our hormone that we use does not affect our bodies as much and as extreme, and does not do as much good work as testosterone does for trans men. We still have to learn how to change our voices. In fact, I'm still learning how to do that. You might notice how I talk in a more normal sounding masculine-esque voice with a little bit of gay in it. That's because I have been conditioned by my surroundings to talk like that. I'd really prefer to talk like this, but I can't because I get bullied for it. We also have to do a lot more physical work to pass as a masculine-looking woman, because a lot of us, after puberty, when we finally are allowed to get our hormones, replaced, start, growing and showing signs that we are biologically male. This is not something we can control, and unfortunately, it's not something that we will ever be able to fix. Unless they figure out how to do time shape-shifting, which I will be dead by the time that happens. Now that I'm 18, it's an option for me to start taking hormones, but that's only if I decide to switch to a different hospital other than the one that I'm at right now. The one I'm with right now, unfortunately, due to law in their region where they're set up, kind of forces me to wait till I'm 19. And I have to be 100% sure that my insurance will uncover it. What? I have to be 100% sure that my insurance will cover it, because it just depends on insurance companies. Some of them view it as a more cosmetic thing when it's very much a medical need. thankfully, I've heard that Medicaid is extremely lenient with that, and they will allow me to get that kind of medical help that I very much need right now. Either way, types of behavior that trans individuals have to experience on a daily basis, especially in June, is astounding and very childish. On every single video I've seen doom scrolling about Pride Month, some idiotic loser who has no clue what he's talking about states a fact that he thinks is true but does not give any basis or evidence, and eventually gets proven wrong and then says that the fact that proved him wrong is AI or false, and then just falls down to calling people insults. He has no proof as to why it's evil for people to be trans or gay, but he spouts this nonsense constantly as if it's supposed to convince us otherwise. There's nothing wrong with it other than that it makes you a little uncomfy. We've proven time and time again with multiple studies that trans people do not have control over how they view themselves when it comes to gender. It's not something that you can just be like, oh, just think more masculinely or start doing more masculine. No, like that's not how it works. Your brain chemistry is different for each individual person, and trans people just happen to pull the one that makes them wish they were the wrong. They were the gender that they're not. And while we're on the topic of gender, I do want to say I believe that gender and sex are two separate things. Gender is a social construct, while sex is not. I am a trans woman. I am a woman. However, I will admit, and a lot of trans people for some reason struggle to do this, that I am biologically a male. I am biologically a guy. Again, it's not something I can control. I just have to accept it. And when trans people don't accept that and refuse to say, I am biologically a male or biologically a female or whatever, it tends to reflect badly on us because it seems like, or not really reflect badly on us. They're just kind of trying to change the view and change our wording to make us seem like we are refusing to accept logical facts when they're the ones who normally refuse to accept logical facts. Also, to contrary belief, this is something that will eventually happen. Eventually, the person who is trans will either realize they're trans or kill themselves because they can't figure out why their body just does not feel correct to them. Like, I don't think these idiots actually understand the severity of this situation. It's a life or death situation in most cases. And if it's not, sure, I guess it's not necessary, but it's not your right. It's not your job to govern how other people do things with their body. As long as it's not public indecency, and by that I don't mean looking like a man but dressing in woman's clothing. That's not public indecency. As long as the clothing isn't skimpy or overly revealing, I think that's fine. What I'm saying is I think that, girls dressing up in miniskirts and wearing thongs to the mall, I think that's inappropriate. I think all of us can agree that that's inappropriate and should not be done. But they're acting like a trans woman wearing like a crop top is like that level. Like, come on, bro. Guys wear crop tops. Let people be people, as long as it's not a public nuisance. Trans people being themselves does not affect you in literally any way. We're not the only species in the world to do this kind of thing. We're just the only species in the world that doesn't have the natural ability to change our bodies. We're not the only species, you know what I'm talking about. We're the only species in the world that exhibits this kind of behavior, but doesn't have the ability to actually change their gender. maybe, I'm not sure. There's like a million different animal species out there, so maybe we are not the only ones that have this behavior but can't change it. Either way, that just proves their point is false most of the time. We come up with man-made solutions because nature did not give us the gift of changing our gender. Or sex, I should say. Unfortunately, because these idiots were raised in a barn, and I mean literally raised in a barn, like they grew up in fucking Texas, like ding 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 ding. I'm sorry, that was extremely rude. They do not have enough education to know about these kinds of animals, and when they learn about it, they think it's AI or that it's false, and they still say it's unnatural, despite other animals having the same kind of behavior. Right-wing politicians and debaters have this very intriguing habit of moving the goalpost when they get proven wrong and changing the argument, or they just deny all the evidence that has been given to them and call it fake and not true. And proven articles are called AI when we have proof that they're not AI. And this isn't something we'll probably ever be able to fix in their stupid brains, because these are the kinds of people who will believe in something until the day they die, or most likely until it kills them. If they saw Black Jesus, they would not think he's Jesus, and they would just be like, that's not Jesus. Like, come on, bro. And they're the most religious motherfuckers on the planet, but they can't accept that Jesus isn't white. There's absolutely no way Jesus is white. We have so much proof of this. But it's whatever. Speaking of Jesus, I ended up getting a Bible for my graduation party. So I think some of my family members have clocked that I'm not straight. I thought it was from my older brother, because my older brother likes to make jokes about that. I mean, I don't know if he's right-wing leaning or not, but he's kind of annoyingly, he makes a lot of jokes about it, and it gets to a point, you know? He's also just kind of not very socially aware, if I can use a correct word. I don't know, man. But it seems like my great aunt and great uncle have either clocked that I'm gay and trans, or they just thought that that was a suitable gift to give to someone in the modern age of 2026. I mean, I appreciate it, unfortunately, because I'm not really, you know, a believer of that religion. I ended up losing it in the trash can. But, yeah. Editor's note, I still don't know if they know that I'm trans or know that I'm not straight, but I think they know something, because who gives somebody a Bible for their graduation party? And even worse, my dad decided to pull another offhanded comment, or that he does all the time, just constant, like, why? And he's like, maybe you should read it. Oh my god, bro. This motherfucker literally has said before that he doesn't believe in God. And now he's like trying to convince me that I need to read the Bible. No, I'm not going to read the fucking Bible. That book has no merit to me anymore. It's thousands of years old, retranslated millions of times, and it has so much less merit to it than it used to. Like, even if the guy is real, we all know his message has been completely strewn and skewed because of the amount of times different people have rewritten it or added to it. Like, what? He just continues to show time and time again that he's a raging hypocrite. And it just pisses me off. Cannot wait to move out, but I have to bear with it until July 25th when I finally move out. I'm either moving in with my mom, my stepmom, or my friend in Tennessee, which I don't think is going to work out, unfortunately. Despite me wanting to move in with them, I just don't think it's going to work. Financial stuff, all of my benefits will be gone if I move out of state, etc., etc. I've recently been experiencing some of the worst gender dysphoria I have ever had. I constantly feel like I'm becoming gross and that my body is being deformed. When I look at myself in the mirror, I feel like one of those skinwalker monsters, like the pale, lanky creatures you see in those horror pictures, the creepypastas. Just disgusting. I feel gross all the time. In fact, just like that SCP, the big lanky one that covers his face, I want to hide myself as well. I want to hide because I look gross. I just am not what I feel like I should be. That's the problem. It's in a similar bracket to body dysmorphia, which Republicans have accepted as a thing, but that's just because doctors have proven it's a thing for hundreds of years, and all of the evidence about trans people got burned in World War II. So, not all of them, though. Most Republicans don't believe mental health disorders are real unless it's convenient for them. Only believe in mental health disorders when it benefits or hides their incorrect stories and incredibly corrupt stories from the public eye. Either way, the dysphoria has gotten so bad that I choose to sleep in bed all day as opposed to do anything else, because when I get up in the morning, I just feel disgusting, and I get that look from my dad every time I see him, and it just puts me over the edge, man. Like, my mental health is already not great. My body image is already not great, and it just is only getting worse with each passing day. And then this motherfucker comes along and he's constantly berating me about how trans people should be eradicated, etc., etc. And that's not good when I'm also stressing about the fact that I'm going to be homeless within the next month if I don't figure out what the fuck I'm doing. I've been struggling with hygiene because I just don't want to get out of bed. I don't shower. I used to shower every other day. Now I don't shower for every 3 days, which, I mean, it isn't that bad, but it's still gross. It's still bad. I should be showering every other day. That's just how it works. Showering every day is bad, by the way. If you think it's good, then, I mean, maybe it's good, but I have gotten extremely dry skin from it. I mean, I already have extremely dry skin, and it just gets worse with showering every day because the moisture gets sucked out of my body. I don't know how to describe it, but it's, I mean, as much as I love showering every day, it's also fucking expensive, and I do not pay the bills at this house. Again, it's not my house. I'm still living with my parents, so I've been wearing the same pair of clothes for the past, like, 2 days, and last pair of clothes I wore for the past 3 days because I'm just tired, and changing clothes means I have to see my body, and having to see my body makes me want to throw up. I have clean laundry, but I just have not been changing. Talking about this is making me just upset, but I think it's very important to talk about this. A lot of people don't realize how it feels to have gender dysphoria. It's just like, oh my god. Hold on, I need a second. A lot of people don't realize how it feels to have gender dysphoria. It feels like your body is deforming and you have nothing to stop it. And then you go into a depressive state and bed rot all day. Every time you see your body, it doesn't feel like yours. But when you remember it's yours, you wish it wasn't. You try everything you can to just fit in. Maybe if you dress masculinely, maybe you'll fit in better, but your body type doesn't match it, and your personality matches it even less. You try to hang out with the kinds of people that society tells you to, but just makes you more upset. All the while, you want to tear off your own skin because it makes you feel disgusted. Even when I've completely taken a shower, even when I'm squeaky clean, I feel gross. And while I've learned to live with it, I don't think I can live with it much longer. I haven't shown suicidal tendencies yet, but I have been growing deeper and deeper into depression as my gender dysphoria gets worse. And all the while, I have someone living in the same house as me who tells me that I am unnatural. Only way I can fix it, and this isn't even an actual fix, is through getting gender affirming care, which has been constantly denied to me by lawmakers and adults and everyone for the past decade. In fact, I was so scared about being trans that I convinced myself I was a femboy for the longest time. And unfortunately, a lot of people still think I'm a femboy. It's especially hard when you live in a red state and every kid your age thinks that trans people are gross and weird. Except for other trans people and lesbians for some reason. I've experienced a lot of gay guys that think that trans people are weird. And it just doesn't make sense to me. But yeah, no, gender dysphoria feels awful, and a lot of people don't understand what it feels like. They just try to make these decisions for people who, first off, it doesn't affect you, so why are you trying to make these decisions for them? And second off, you're ruining their lives for no reason. That's what these guys do, right? It's how they make money. They ruin people's lives for no reason or to make a quick profit. And while you would think the justice system that was made to prevent this kind of stuff would do its job, it doesn't. All of this stuff still gets through, no matter how many things we put in the way to try and prevent it. And the worst part is, gender affirming care still doesn't actually fix the problems. It just alleviates the pain of seeing your body degrade in front of you on a daily fucking basis. My dad is so anti-trans, but he doesn't understand how it feels to think that your body is disgusting. Or, well, he doesn't anymore. You see, my dad went through a crazy and very respectable, and I mean respectable, I have a lot of respect for the way he did this weight loss journey a long time ago. And he described it to me and said that he had the same body image problems. Not the same, but very similar body image problems to what I have today. But he treats me like crap for my body image problems. He knows what it's like to struggle with body image, and yet he turns around and attacks me for being trans, when being trans is not only a body image thing, but a mental health thing as well. It's a brain thing. My brain does not feel like it fits in the body that I have. My brain does not feel like it's in the correct body at all. It doesn't fit the gender stereotype norms that society has given me. Unfortunately, I have even fallen for the gender stereotype norms in the way that I present myself as a woman. I am just hardwired to see it in a certain way, and that's kind of just how it is. Though I don't think much would change if I wasn't, because the clothes are freaking comfortable. And I think everyone should just have the right to be comfortable as who they are. I dress stereotypically feminine, even though I don't have to. And while I do find it more comfortable, I know that I'm proving a hypocritical point of pushing stereotypes for gender roles. Unfortunately, that is also gender euphoric for me. Not pushing it onto others, but pushing it onto myself. And it's also extremely unhealthy. I lean into them to feel better about my gender dysphoria. That's just how it is. Most people have been hardwired by this point in their life to have an idea of how gender should look, despite gender only being a social construct. I've also been struggling with diet. Again, a symptom of dysphoria. I don't really feel like I'm fat, but whenever I struggle to eat enough, or struggle to eat healthy, I feel horrible. Not physically, okay, physically too, but mostly mentally, because I'm like, I'm not putting in enough effort to look like a woman. But then I'm like, I'll never look like a woman no matter how hard I try. And while that's probably not true, if I put enough effort in, and once I start taking hormones, that will probably change. It's just, I feel like nothing I do is enough to appease these bastards. And I don't know why I'm trying to appease these bastards, because they don't deserve it. They don't deserve my attention, and they don't deserve to get my attention. But I also eat too much. I struggle with eating too much because I'm like, I need to grow weight. So I'll eat like freaking 2 turkey sandwiches and a freaking big ass bowl of like ramen noodles and shit. Like, I don't eat healthy at all, and I eat way too much of the unhealthy food. And then I also don't get off my ass and don't exercise and don't go outside, because I have become a shut-in due to not wanting people to see me, and also being a huge crazy introvert. Blech. I'm far too skinny. I feel like a skeleton, and I look like a skinwalker in my eyes, even when people do try to confirm or convince me that I do look pretty or that I'm not ugly. I just can't believe it. That's why when people call me cute on stream, I'm so adamant that I'm not, because I don't feel like it. And even if you're talking about my personality, I am the most boring motherfucker on the planet. So, like, come on, man. That's just how it's been for a very long time. I haven't been able to fix my body image. In fact, I won't be able to fix it all the way even after I transition medically. But I can massively improve it. Therefore improving my mental health, therefore improving productivity. As long as I can get the gender-affirming care that I need. I spend most of my day reminiscing on what it was like back when I was younger. Sounded and acted a lot more feminine, and a lot of people thought I was a girl. I miss those days, despite them also being some of the hardest days of my life due to not understanding the world, not being diagnosed with the autism that I now am diagnosed with. That would have explained a lot of the problems I have in modern day life. Not even being diagnosed with ADHD, like, but I really miss those days, man. I remember when I was younger, much younger, in elementary school and intermediate school. Editor's note here. Yes, I went to an intermediate school. I know most people don't know what that is, but that's the school system I was brought up in when I was younger. Even in intermediate school and even middle school, there were signs, because every time somebody told me they thought I was a girl or called me a femboy, or, you know, my mom when she was younger, or not young, what am I talking about? My mom when I was little was like, oh my gosh, Jesse is such a girly boy. Like, oh my gosh. And just talks about Ember is such a girly boy. And I was just like, I didn't think of it. I, in fact, fought it. But my mom wasn't what convinced me, because I would get excited. I'd be like, oh my gosh, I am feminine. Like, it's been a thing for the longest time. When I was really little, I tried to wear one of my sister's dresses to Walmart. I was like 5, so maybe it wasn't a sign. But you look at me now, and it's just like, yeah, it was pretty obvious from the start, man. Let me be clear. I was not influenced to become trans at a young age. In fact, the environment I grew up in was very anti-trans, and I was shunned for being feminine. I was shunned for what most people assumed I was going to be gay. Literally, I was called Gaybo as a kid. Like, that's just kind of how it is. People who try to convince you that you've been groomed into being trans or gay don't know who you are. And if they do know who you are and they're saying that shit, cut them off immediately, because they've obviously not been paying attention and they're just trying to convince you to become straight again. Now, there is a such thing as pink pilling, which is essentially convincing people that they're trans and convincing people that they're femboys. And that does give trans people a bad rap because, yes, you can get groomed into that kind of thing. But actual trans people, and even some of the pink-pilled ones, there were signs from the beginning. Those people just ended up pushing it onto the person quicker than how it normally would have played out. This is not something that just happens one day. You don't just decide that, oh my god, you know, I may be like a teenage boy, but I want to be a man. What? No, what? That's the wrong... Ember, think. I may be a teenage boy, but I want to be a woman now, just because, you know, maybe to sneak into women's bathrooms, because I love sneaking into women's bathrooms. It's really fun. Kill me now. It's just, that's not how it works. And if you think that's how it works, then you are incredibly uneducated, and no offense, but maybe you should learn some independence from the people who taught you, or should I say, failed to teach you how to be a proper functioning adult. You might be able to. A lot of people who have body dysmorphia think that they're trans and then learn that they're not. And contrary to popular belief on the right side, most trans people will go see a doctor, be like, I think I'm trans. And if they're trans from body dysmorphia and don't actually have gender dysphoria, they will learn that and they'll be like, okay, I know what the problem is now, let me fix it. Actual trans people, 95% of the time, get diagnosed with gender dysphoria. My mom told me I wasn't diagnosed. It really confused me. I was like, did I not show enough signs? Like, this has been a thing since 8th grade. Actually, since longer, but especially in 8th grade. Like, I was told that I don't have gender dysphoria when I do. By my mom, someone I trust. If there's anything you can take away from this video, it's that if somebody tries to tell you that you were groomed into the identity that you have, most likely they're the kind of person who would groom somebody into the identity that they have. And by that I mean conversion therapy. If you don't know what conversion therapy is, let me enlighten you. It's essentially a fucking boot camp to detransition people, and it doesn't work. I don't know the specific methods because they keep these things secret, and each conversion camp seems to have different ways of doing this because guess what? It doesn't actually work, so there's no actual procedure for getting rid of transness in a subject. I'm saying subject because they probably think of these guys as lab rats. They probably see these guys as like experiments to see if there is a way to detransition someone. Yeah, that's just creepy. Anyway, those are the kinds of people to force you into a conversion camp. They're the kinds of people to force conversion therapy onto their children, despite it being proven to worsen mental health and in a lot of cases make kids self-conscious and hella suicidal. And I mean hella suicidal, like crazy amounts. These people have no backbone. They have no fucking brain. There's absolutely no way you can convince them that being trans is okay, but you can at least convince yourself and choose to ignore them because you need to prove to yourself, or you shouldn't need to prove to yourself, that you're valid. Because you're valid. Unless you're a pedophile, a rapist, murderer, etc., then you're not valid. Then you deserve all of the punishment that God and the failure of the American justice system has dished out to you. Even once trans people have prevailed, even once trans people have essentially gotten to the point where we're not standing on streets protesting for basic human rights, oh shoot. Even once that happens, we're still going to have these kinds of people who think that it's bad. Because this is essentially a repeat of the civil rights movement, of the homosexuality, gay marriage movement. It's a repeat of it. We've proven time and time again, we will prevail because it's progress. Progress does have its challenges, but it will always move forward, no matter what. So unfortunately, losers, you're never going to get rid of us. We do not have an agenda. All we are fighting for is basic human rights and the ability to be ourselves. And if you want to fight that, then so be it. We will fight back just as hard, if not harder. Because guess what? Human rights are important and a basic need for survival in this world. We're fighting for our survival. We're not fighting for the ability to, quote unquote, mutilate our bodies. We're fighting for survival. This is a life or death situation for us. And life or death situations tend to cause very extreme amounts of, what's the word I'm looking for? Essentially, we get things done. And I'm not talking about violence, though. Violence, unfortunately, has spread at a lot of these types of things where like people gather outside of buildings and stuff. It's either a right-wing guy, sometimes it's a left-winger, like it doesn't matter. Violence is not okay unless they're threatening violence against us, which they are. So maybe it is okay, I don't know. Don't kill anyone, obviously, but if somebody tries to fight you, beat the brakes off of them. They deserve it. Please don't kill people. Like that. Threatening to kill people is bad enough. Don't stoop down to their level. Prove to them that we are civil and we are normal human beings who deserve rights and respect. They can call us all the slurs that they want, but in the end, there's nothing they can do to change the chemicals in our brains that make us who we are. Unfortunately, the chemicals in our brains also make us hate our own bodies and make us want to become the opposite gender to what you fuckers assigned us to. We are men and women who were put in the wrong body, but given a brain of a different gender entirely. We are people who will fight tooth and nail for rights that we know we deserve. Because we are powerful. And we have a sense of who we truly are. And this Pride Month will by far be probably the worst we've had in many, many years due to, well, the current administration. But that doesn't mean we're going to stop fighting. They can do all the work they want to prevent us from having rights, but eventually progress will prevail. We will eventually break all of those stupid laws that try to bind us. We will eventually change the world for the better and give trans people and even gay people and bi people and lesbians and all of the letters of the alphabet, because there's so many, equal rights. This Pride Month, I want you to be true to who you are. And if somebody tries to convince you that you're something that you're not, or tries to convince you that you're bad or evil for being who you are, give them the finger and move on with your day. They're not worth your time, and most people disagree with them anyway. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you liked it, make sure to smash that like button. For more content, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and please, please, I beg of you, check out my Twitch. And the reason I'm saying that is because I've been streaming every day, and like normally I get like 10 views per like 10 average viewers. Well, obviously it's not good, but you know, I'm very grateful to have even any viewers, but recently my streams have been dying in views, and I don't know why. Probably because I've been playing Half-Life, games that everybody has seen playthroughs of at this point. So maybe I'll just move on or take a break from Half-Life for a little bit. I'm planning to start streaming on weekends exclusively, once I beat Black Mesa and Half-Life Alyx. But yeah, anyway, thank you guys so much for watching the video. Again, please check out my Twitch. Please join the Discord server, and have a good day. Be yourselves. Bye.